Hi everybody, it's Saturday, January 17th, 2009. Thanks for stopping by. The economy continues to slump. Circuit City is going out of business. Many people are out of work. Many people are losing their homes. Even hospitals are now saying that they have to cut back because people are no longer coming into the emergency room. Can you imagine that? Of course, they could be just making excuses for cutting their salaries, but they claim that people are no longer coming to the hospital, to the emergency room. So that's a bad sign. Meanwhile, our government is doing everything they can to prop up the criminals on Wall Street, and they are moving heaven and earth to deliver more weapons to the murderous regime of war criminals in Israel. These people have become so brazen that they have attacked UN buildings regularly, to the point where the UN and other aid organizations have announced that they're going to withdraw from Gaza because their employees are routinely being targeted. The Israeli Navy threatened to open fire on a humanitarian boat unless they turned back in international waters. This is the most brazen sort of thing you can imagine. Openly defying the United Nations, threatening to end the legitimacy of the United Nations, and basically take us, I guess you could say, plunge the rest of the world into the kind of barbarism and savagery which is now already the rule in the Middle East, because of Israel, and certainly also because of the many puppet regimes of the United States and the Arab world, all the dictatorships that the United States has installed in the Muslim world. This is a very dark day for humanity. And just to be clear, the attack on Gaza began ostensibly because of rockets being fired by Hamas, but let's not forget Israel broke the ceasefire by killing 6 people in Gaza. Israel never lived up to their end of the ceasefire. They never allowed the level of humanitarian aid that they were promising that they would allow. That's a fact. They allowed 20% of the aid, and it wasn't nearly enough. The blockade of Gaza starved the people for a long period of time. Israel broke the ceasefire. Then Hamas responded, and Israel used that as a pretext to begin a savage assault on the civilians of Gaza using banned and experimental weapons. In all likelihood, no one knows for sure because Israel has blocked the media organizations and has attacked media organizations inside Gaza. But all indications point to them using white phosphorus on civilians, and also dense inert metal explosives, or dimes, which cause horrible injuries. And likewise, white phosphorus causes horrible injuries, and it's almost impossible to treat because you can't use water on white phosphorus. It makes it worse. So these are very serious crimes that Israel is engaging in. And I just watched Israeli TV where they spent a long time justifying the slaughter of innocent civilians. Basically, they say, well, we're fighting evil, we're not making war on these people, we're making war on the state. So, and the people are part of the state, so the civilians are legitimate targets, They're saying the civilians voted for Hamas, so they deserve it. All sorts of these arguments, which basically, if you think about it, undermine every criticism that they've ever had about Hamas and every other terrorist organization. If you remember, the only thing that they really have against them is that they use attacks on civilians to achieve their goals. They attack civilians in Israel. Now, if attacking civilians of your enemy is okay, then they just legitimized Hamas and everybody else that they've been constantly condemning. If they can kill civilians and it's all right, then I'm sorry to tell you, Hamas can too. Okay, unless you're an absolute hypocrite, which these people are. I'm sure they still will condemn Hamas for shooting rockets, and then they will turn around and say that when they shoot rockets, it's all right because they're fighting evil. But I wonder what Hamas thinks Israel is. Is it possible that they believe Israel is also evil? Yes, that's exactly what they think. So, this is utter hypocrisy. It can't be possibly excused or condoned. 300 dead children, 1,000 dead civilians, or mostly civilians. 1,000 dead, mostly civilian. 4 or more thousand injured. In an indiscriminate bombing campaign. UN workers killed, media workers killed, human rights workers of several organizations killed. It's just appalling and inexcusable. And if you try to excuse it, or if you try to justify it, you are attempting to justify mass murder. That's all you're doing. And it's just not possible to do. You can try, but it's not possible. You can't justify mass murder, no matter what you say, no matter who started it. It doesn't matter. Even if Hamas had started it, you can't justify this campaign. It's just impossible. Israel has two choices. If what they say is true and they really want to stop the rockets, they can exterminate the Palestinians in Gaza down to the last man, woman, and child, or they can negotiate and make peace. That's always been their choice. And they've always had the choice to do that. Hamas right now is offering a year-long ceasefire, and Hamas has always lived up to its ceasefires. It's never broken them. It has no reason to do so. And so if Israel wanted to, they could stop the rockets for another year right now just by saying, okay, we'll stop bombing you. But they don't want to do that. Okay, Israel, like I said, they have two choices. They can either negotiate and make peace and end the blockade, or they can exterminate the Palestinians down to the last man, woman, and child. And, they can bomb all they want. They're only going to make things worse. The more they bomb the people in Gaza, the more they will strengthen their resolve to resist Israel and to fight back. That's just a fact. There's nothing that Israel can do in Gaza, no matter how much they bomb, short of exterminating every last Gazan, that will stop the rockets. And if you think that they can stop the rockets without either killing every last person there or making peace, you're a fool. That's all I can say. How naive do you have to be to think that Israel can solve this problem with violence? You either kill them all or you make peace, and there's no other option. So what are you doing? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're committing mass murder, and you're committing war crimes, and anyone who defends it is defending war crimes and mass murder. End of story. Thanks for watching.